His journey stretched through forests glowing with sunset light to quiet nights lit by flickering campfires beside a stream. Although his goal was clear, his pace remained unhurried, carefully stepping past the massive skeletal remains of monsters scattered in the gloomy, misty forest. He reasoned with himself, but there's no rush. If the clues were going to disappear, they would have vanished sometime during these 18 years. And if they're still there, they won't disappear just because I arrive a little later. Walking amidst the dense foliage, the young man suddenly halted, his brows furrowing slightly as a loud noise broke the silence. Hiding behind a lush bush, he carefully peeked through. The scene unfolded before his eyes. A muscular reddish-brown warhorse with a golden mane was rearing up in sheer panic, neighing wildly. Behind it, a cloaked figure with disheveled blonde hair had collapsed on the grassy ground. Looking closer, his gaze lingered on the back of the rearing horse as it wildly swung its hooves in defense. A saddle, he thought, realizing the situation wasn't simple. He wasn't attacked by a monster. The monster is actually protecting him. On the opposite side, two dark figures were struggling to dodge the warhorse, one of them grumbling in extreme frustration. Damned demon, how can a mere beast be this strong? The young man continued to scan the scene, his mind quickly analyzing the situation. Did the attack come from that direction? Suddenly, his pupils shrank as he noticed something highly unusual. Exclamation point! From the shadows, the attacker's features became clear. Purplish skin, stark white hair, and savagely glowing yellow eyes. A tall one ordered, "Try to find an opening." The other, with bandaged arms, retorted bluntly, "Easy for you to say." The young man hiding behind the bushes was momentarily startled as he recognized them. Dark elves? The dark elf's hand reached out, releasing a stream of glowing purple dark magic. From the ground erupted a slimy mess, as grotesque masses of flesh rose up, surrounding the horse. The young man muttered, recalling the knowledge he had studied. "It's the necromancy of the dark elves that I saw in a book." Faced with the uneven battle, a moment of hesitation crossed his mind. He ducked lower behind the leaves, weighing the situation. Should I help? But... He loosened his grip on the backpack strap, reasoning, it could be that the fallen man attacked the dark elves first. Before he could finish his thought, his pupils dilated to their limits, horrified by the brutal sight that just struck his eyes. The sharp teeth of a dark elf were savagely tearing into bloody flesh. It was a severed human arm. The female dark elf demanded, grimacing, "Whose hand is this? Give me one, too." The male, clutching the bloody limb, snapped back, "Eat your own. You must have grabbed one for yourself, right?" The young man's face hardened, his eyes turning cold and full of killing intent. So they really were cannibals. Realizing these monsters deserved no mercy, he took a step back into the mist and activated his magic, concealment. Outside, the female dark elf looked at the body part with utter dissatisfaction. "The ones I killed were all men, so they were way too hairy." Just as the female dark elf was grumbling about her meal, a fiercely glowing magic projectile tore through the air, violently striking her head with devastating force. Blood splattered as her head was thrown violently backward. Her companion stood frozen, his yellow eyes wide in sheer shock, his scarred face splattered with his comrade's fresh blood. "Huh!" Realizing it was a surprise attack, the ground beneath his feet began to bubble with black liquid, and sharp, dark spikes thrust aggressively into the sky. Seeing his comrade fall in an instant, the dark elf screamed wildly, waving his hand to command his undead beast horde, "Gather around!" Instantly, the stitched, grotesque monsters swarmed to shield him. Whoosh! Another glowing magic projectile tore through the wind toward him. With beast-like reflexes, he leaned back and vaulted off a monster's back to narrowly dodge the strike. The moment he regained his footing, he threw his arms wide and roared in fury, his bloodshot eyes scanning the smoking forest. "Who is this bastard? Show yourself." Tracing the trajectory of the attack, the dark elf directed massive dark roots to smash into the bushes, tearing up the ground and shredding the rock face to pieces. As the thick dust cleared, revealing no enemy corpse, he gritted his teeth, recognizing his opponent's skill. Concealment! The long scar on his face twitched, and a cruel smirk appeared. He released a thick black mist, summoning a skeletal, fleshy demon hound with spiky golden fur and burning red eyes from the swamp of shadows beneath his feet. "Let's see if you can still hide like that." The dark elf swung his hand, unleashing a sweeping golden shockwave through the forest, shattering the concealment. The silver-haired young man gave a confident smirk as his presence was revealed. The moment the white-coated figure landed gracefully, the villain roared madly, "Found you! You damned demon! Kill him!" Obeying its master, the massive green undead bull with glowing red eyes charged ferociously. Unfazed, the young man reached out his hand, condensing surging fire magic into a blazing sphere, and unleashed a scorching pillar of flames straight at the monster. The furious flames directly struck the massive body of the undead bull, but its decaying flesh was tougher than expected. It tore through the smoke and charged, forcing the young man to hastily roll back on the grass. Sliding on the ground, he assessed the situation. "Quick! It's a good thing I killed one of them earlier." But just as he regained his bearings, a dark blur darted past. The undead hound with razor-sharp teeth had violently clamped its jaws onto his arm. Ugh! Before his shock could fade, the giant shadow of the bull descended upon him, ramming his small frame into the air with terrifying force. The grotesque face of the undead bull filled his vision just before the young man was sent flying like a ragdoll. His body slammed hard into a tree trunk, sliding down to the dirt. Clutching his chest, he coughed up mouthfuls of fresh blood. Watching his opponent fall, the dark elf threw his head back and laughed maniacally, his face twisted in cruelty. "Serves you right. How dare you kill my kin? You'll be begging for death." However, his arrogance was abruptly cut short. The reddish-brown warhorse charged in out of nowhere, delivering a devastating kick straight to the villain's face. Knocked to the ground, he scrambled and shrieked, "Help! Quickly!" Hearing their master's command, the beasts were forced to abandon the severely injured young man to rush back, while the valiant horse continued to clash with the undead bull. Pushing himself up from the dust, the dark elf's yellow eyes bulged with absolute rage. He growled, swearing vengeance on the insolent beast. "How dare you humiliate me like this? I'm going to kill you." But before his curse could end, a blinding blue beam of magic tore through the space at terrifying speed. The cold, overpowering energy beam pierced straight through the dark elf, completely obliterating his upper half in a gory explosion. Far in the distance, amidst the fading mist of the forest, the silhouette of the young man with his arm lowered was revealed. As the headless corpse of the enemy collapsed to the ground, the dark magic swamps dissipated with him. Drained of his last ounce of strength, the young man fell to his knees on the dirt, a weary breath escaping his lips. "I'm really going to die." Suddenly, a warm snout gently nudged his hair. Turan looked up in surprise, then smiled with relief, petting the brave warhorse that had fought alongside him. Right, thank you." Night gradually fell over the forest, the bright full moon shining through the canopy. Suddenly, the blond man jolted awake, sitting up and screaming in panic. Not far away, sitting calmly by a crackling campfire, Turan chewed his food and said evenly, "You're awake." Still dazed, the man asked in confusion, "Who are you?" The young man answered simply, "I saw you being attacked by dark elves and saved you." Hearing this, the man let out a breath of relief. "Ah." His eyes softening as he saw his familiar warhorse nudging him. The horse bent down to nudge its owner's hand, and the man called its name with deep gratitude, "Tilly." Watching the scene, Turan smiled and commented, "She's quite smart. She even understands that she needs to protect her owner," and moved to a safer location. Having regained his composure, the man knelt respectfully by the fire, placing a hand on his chest as he bowed his head. "I thank you for the grace of saving me. I am Aziz of the Burke family." Turan, sitting comfortably cross-legged, replied, "I'm Turan." After a brief pause, Turan probed, "By any chance, is there a reason for the conflict with the Dark Elves?" Aziz's face fell, his voice tinged with sorrow and shock. "A reason? No, none. I was on a journey with my servants, when we were suddenly attacked without provocation." Tears began to stream down Aziz's cheeks as he sobbed. "I'd heard that other races were violent, but I didn't imagine it would be to this extent." Tilly the horse seemed to understand her master's sorrow, stepping closer to sniff and comfort him, while Aziz choked out a tearful curse. "Damn it." Aziz held his tear-stained face, trying to stifle his sobs. "I'm sorry. The people I lost today were very precious to me." Turan asked softly, Were they your family? Aziz explained bitterly. They were the knights and servants who came on this journey with me. They practically raised me since I was a child. Seeing Aziz's genuine grief, Turan thought to himself, he's a good person. Calming down slightly, Aziz asked, how many dark elves attacked you? Turan replied calmly, I killed 2. That was probably all of them. To be sure, Turan closed his eyes and activated a reconnaissance spell. Explore. His magic spread out into the night, sweeping through every corner of the dark forest. Opening his eyes, Turan confirmed, right, there really aren't any more dark elves around. Taking the opportunity, Aziz asked hesitantly, Master Turan, do you happen to have any urgent business right now? I'm also on a journey, Turan answered. Aziz looked visibly surprised. Even with such strength, you're still traveling alone? Are you perhaps the son of a great family? But why are you alone? Averting his gaze, Turan answered modestly, it's hard to explain, and I'm not actually that strong. I ambushed one and killed him, then struggled against the other. I only managed to win with the help of that red horse. Turan's humble words belied the deep blue magic aura within him, standing in stark contrast to Aziz's burning orange aura, making Aziz flinch slightly as he realized the hidden difference. Outwardly humble, Turan was secretly evaluating his counterpart. Ah, isn't he quite strong? If I hadn't absorbed the Dark Elf's mana, I'd be even weaker. As for Aziz, he was also quietly observing his savior. He really isn't at the level to face 2 necromancers. Does he have great combat instincts or a special bloodline? Watching Turan sitting quietly by the fire, Aziz's curiosity grew. But why would someone like that be alone? Pushing his thoughts aside, Aziz made an earnest offer. If you don't have a set destination, may I invite you to our Burke family? I will repay the debt of you saving my life, and for escorting me safely back to my family. At the mention of a reward, Turan's interest was piqued. Payment. Aziz clenched his fist, flashing a proud and confident smile. We, the Burke family, are vassals of the great house of Erebion in the north, and we come from a lineage of enchantment artisans who have created magic artifacts for generations. We will craft a magic artifact perfectly suited for you. Under the flickering firelight, Turan gazed thoughtfully at Aziz, seemingly giving this tempting offer serious consideration.